Self-acceptance is about becoming a whole and complete person. On the opposite, self-rejection is like having autoimmune disorder, where your body attacks its own cells. Rejecting yourself is like your brain turning against you. Perhaps you hate your own physical appearance, you're ashamed about your personal background, feel that you are unworthy or unlovable and could do nothing right. Perhaps even talk down or harshly criticize yourself just exactly the way how your parents did to you. Self-rejection is a battle that you are fighting against yourself. These self-conflicting feelings rip you into the multiple parts as if there are multiple selves living within you. To accept yourself is to end the internal battle within. To heal is to accept yourself, bring shattered fragments into one piece, into oneness. Self-acceptance is acknowledging that we, as humans, no one's flawless. Believing one can be perfect is merely an unrealistic fantasy. If we are unhappy with our current state, we can accept the fact there's plenty room to improve. We strive for personal growth without rejecting ourselves. People who sign up for the healing and spiritual journey tend to be the ones who are more sensitive and caring, hold themselves to higher standards, and pay more attention to self-introspection, which are great things. However, that sometimes lead to over self-criticism, which can lead to spiral of self-conflicting feelings or even self-doubts, always looking for something that we didn't do well enough and rejecting the parts that didn't meet our standards. Accepting who we are could be very discomforting, even extremely painful, because that means we have to admit our flaws, our imperfection. Perhaps I'm not good at everything. Perhaps I'm not as wealthy, as smart, as good looking as others. Perhaps I do have temper issue. Perhaps I did hurt other people's feeling. Naturally, we don't want to admit that we are not good enough. We often excessively idealize saints or heroes, falsely envisioning them as flawless beings. Nonetheless, we admire them not because they are invincible or perfect, but because despite the internal battles, despite their flaws and weaknesses, they take on challenges and show extraordinary courage and perseverance in overcoming their shortcomings. They don't avoid their weaknesses, but work through them instead of working around them. We certainly don't like our flaws or weaknesses, but rejecting or avoiding them only prolongs the pain, remains in constant conflict, and delay the healing. So rather than working around the issue, let's work through it. At the same time, self-acceptance also implies self-forgiveness. While we bring joy and warmth to others, we may also make mistakes and cause harm. Reflecting on the past, we may feel regret and we struggle to forgive our former selves, but time cannot be reversed, and we cannot remain trapped in guilt forever. Without forgiving ourselves, we cannot return to one unified self. As we remain in the internal battles, the self remains divided. Both the good and bad are part of the self. Only by forgiving ourselves and letting go of the blame can we begin to heal and become oneness. Rejecting parts of ourselves, creating internal fragmentations, it prevents integration back to wholeness and oneness. There's no need to justify our past mistakes. Yesterday's mistakes become today's lessons. That said, it's not an easy thing to do, but we also cannot live in our past forever. Forgive yourself, release the blame, and let's begin the journey of healing. Thank you, and see you next time.